In the face of a global market sell-off, the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, and various trade deals failing, the S&P 500 just posted its strongest quarter since 2013. Stay tuned as we go over what happened in the markets last week and why the month of October holds so much uncertainty.
The NASDAQ was the only positive U.S. market last week, up about 0.75% and still leading the way for the year, up over 16%. The S&P 500 was down about 0.5%, but as Matt mentioned at the beginning, just had its best quarter since 2013, up just over 7% for the third quarter. Foreign and emerging markets were both negative last week, with foreign down just under 1% and emerging markets down about 0.25% and still down over 7% for the year. The chart that we're looking at today is of the semiconductor index. Now, a few weeks ago, I went over this chart of the semiconductor index, but I wanted to touch on it again because this index is usually a good indicator of where the market's going as a whole. I want to focus on the top right of this chart. And the pattern that's being formed here is called a wedge, which means there are higher lows that have been put in this year and also lower highs that are being put in. So we are looking for either a move one of two ways. A move above the top blue line could be a potential breakout, which could be very good for the market and bullish for the rest of the year. But also we're paying attention, and if we see a move below the bottom blue line, that could be a breakdown, and that could be a bearish signal for the markets for the rest of the year.
To kick off the news from last week, the Federal Reserve, as expected, raised interest rates by 0.25% and guided that they're going to look to raise interest rates again this year and also 4 times next year. So everything is in line with what they were saying from the last meeting that they had. Also last week, we've seen oil prices jump up to around $73 a barrel. These are highs that we haven't seen since about 2014, and this is right before the Iran sanctions go into effect. So if you're going to fill up your gas tank, it's probably going to cost you a little more. And lastly, over the weekend, it was announced that Canada and the United States have agreed to a trade deal, finalizing NAFTA. So that was everything from the news last week. And as we mentioned earlier, could we be seeing some uncertain times ahead? And that's because we're entering the month of October, which has historically seen 3 of the largest market crashes.
However, over the past 20 years, the S&P 500's best performing month on average has actually been the month of October.
Thanks for watching, and we strive to give you everything that you need to know about the markets in 5 minutes or less.
Like our Facebook page and share the video. Thanks a lot.